Saying, calm down, is the fastest way to make someone escalate even more. Say it on a hot call and watch things get worse, not better. I learned that lesson the hard way on one of my own calls, and I'll share that story with you in a minute. Think about it. Two simple words, calm down, said with the best of intentions, yet they almost always make things worse. Today, I'll show you what to do instead to actually lower the temperature and stay in control. I'm Troy Siewert, retired police lieutenant with 30 years in law enforcement. As a CIT officer, I handled countless mental health crisis calls, and I know how easy it is to say the wrong thing in the heat of the moment. Now I train officers to handle these calls in a way that sets them up for success without falling back on impulses or old habits, like saying, calm down, that only make things worse. Which brings us to the real question. Why does it backfire? And what actually works instead? I'll walk you through 3 things you can do to lower the temperature and regain control. Here's the problem. We want control. We want order. And we want the yelling to stop. Though our instinct is to use words that sound professional, but land as dismissive. What feels respectful to us comes across as the polite way of saying, shut up. When a person in crisis hears that, it doesn't settle them down. It makes them louder, angrier, and instead of calming down, they escalate. Why? Their brain treats it like a threat. Their ego takes a hit, emotions spike, and instead of calming down, they escalate. That's when you start losing influence and the call starts slipping out of your control. I remember being on a customer dispute call years ago. A man living with schizophrenia was experiencing delusions, yelling at the employee behind the counter, and causing a disturbance. And when I arrived, he was still yelling. Unfortunately, the first thing I did was approach him and tell him to calm down. Well, as you can probably guess, he did not, in fact, calm down. Instead, he immediately turned toward me, puffed up his chest, and yelled, "Don't effing tell me to calm down, MFer." That was a moment in which I realized saying calm down doesn't work. So what works instead? To avoid making things worse, you need a different approach. Let me walk you through 3 ways to lead someone toward being calm without ever saying calm down. Here's the first one. Lead with your presence. Your body language, tone, and demeanor all set the stage. When the person in crisis is yelling, you shouldn't yell back. But you also can't lose control of the scene. The sweet spot is being calm and confident, using a firm, steady voice. Don't crowd them unless there's an officer safety issue, and keep your hands visible. The way you carry yourself sets the tone for the whole call. But your presence alone isn't enough. You also need to acknowledge what the person is showing you in their words and in their emotions. That acknowledgement is the second way you lead someone toward being calm. We validate their experience. And what that really means is showing them you recognize what they're going through. It tells them, I see you. I hear what you're saying. And it lowers their defenses without caving to their demands. So instead of insisting, calm down, I can't help you if you're yelling, try, hey, I can see you're angry about this. Let's take things one step at a time so I can help. That type of validation, combined with a calm, confident presence, begins to send the message that you're not shutting them down. Now, presence and validation help lower defenses, but they only work if your tone and body language are consistent. So the third way to lead someone toward calm is make sure your words and your nonverbals match. And this is where officers often slip. We say the right words, things like, I want to help you, you're not in trouble, or I'm here to support you. The way we deliver it tells a different story. Our tone sounds impatient. Our body language says we just want to clear the call. And the eye roll makes us look judgmental and dismissive. When that happens, the message of support gets lost. And the person doesn't believe what we said, they believe what we showed them. When your delivery undercuts your words, you'll lose credibility in that moment. And once you lose credibility, influencing the outcome becomes more difficult. So here's the bottom line. Don't tell someone to calm down. Lead them there. Lead with your presence, calm, confident, and steady. Validate their experience. Show them you recognize what they're going through. And make sure how you say it matches what you're saying. When those three line up, you take back influence. You protect your control of the scene, and you give the call its best chance of ending safe. For them and for you. If this helped, subscribe and check out my free monthly email, The Insightful Responder. It's one practical lesson each month built for officers who want real tools for real calls. Until next time, train to respond, not just react. Because calm, confident action changes everything.